This is Matt's Madness. This week I'm reviewing Monday Night Raw, a Raw that kind of took a step sideways rather than forwards this week, with double main events that were pretty much the same. I'm reviewing Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan storylines as they roll through WrestleMania season, and with Fastlane only 2 weeks away, this was a Raw that definitely limped to the finish. I'll get it all started right after this.
Podcasting from the capital city of the great state of New York, this is the Matt's Madness Show, a weekly podcast about the world of professional wrestling.
Give me a hell yeah!
Technology, and damn near anything else that comes to mind. And now, here's your host, Matt Corsell.
Welcome, everybody. Matt's Madness, episode 24. Can you believe it? 24 episodes. I want to thank you for joining me, for clicking that download, the play button, whatever button you click to get here. I appreciate it. And as always, any questions, comments, concerns, this show's for you guys. Anything you have, feedback, good or bad, please send it my way. Questions at mattsmadness.com or on my Twitter, which is growing by the day, Matts_madness. Any questions you have for me, I will answer on the air. And I'm going to also try to work on a weekly live show that once I figure out the details, I will pass along to you. So with that, Monday Night Raw. A Raw that did not get a lot of good feedback. A Raw that kind of, as I said in the open, took a step sideways in terms of storyline progression, made a lot of people scratch their heads, didn't really move forward. Instead, kind of made us go, huh? It was dull at times. It did have some interesting components, but it felt repetitive, and you felt every single minute of those 3 hours. And if you follow me, you know that I have the 90-minute version of Raw. I don't have cable, so I watched the abbreviated version, and the abbreviated version felt a little bit lengthy, so I could not have imagined that 3 hours, with the commercial breaks included, anybody just sticking with it through the commercial breaks, and the ratings reflected that. Now, obviously, Better Call Saul was debuting, I believe, at 10 o'clock, their final hour, which reflected in their ratings pretty poorly. And if you go back to last week, at the top of the hour last Monday Night Raw, they've been dropping every hour since then. So 6 progressive hours of decline. Not a good sign for WWE in WrestleMania season, that's for sure. But this was a Monday Night Raw that was very strange. It seems kind of clunky. Maybe they don't know where they're going, and I hope this all comes full circle. I know everybody wants Daniel Bryan in the main event, but the way to do it was to win the Royal Rumble for Daniel Bryan. That didn't happen. So WWE adjusted their plans, adjusted their strategy, and it feels clunky. It feels like kind of pushed together just because we want it, but this isn't the way we wanted it, maybe. I don't know. It just, right now, it doesn't feel right, and hopefully this was just a Raw that is set up for something bigger. And with that being said, though, I'm going to go through Raw real quick, give you my thoughts on some of the highlights. I won't go through every segment because I don't want to put you to sleep. This isn't the Lullaby channel. So things that were interesting to me, I'll roll through. Roman Reigns comes out, and this week to a lot more boos. I'd say it's about 70-30 boos. Made me smile. And he said that last week he stood in the ring as the 2015 Royal Rumble winner, guaranteeing him a spot at WrestleMania in the main event with Brock Lesnar. He said that's where he would beat Lesnar for the title. A lot of boos there. Says that the Authority clearly didn't want him in that spot, so now he has to earn it by beating Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. More boos. Says that he will spear anyone that gets in his way. So the hokey Looney Tunes promos are out, which is good. No more Suffer and Succotash, no more Disney references, no more Superman references, none of that, other than his... I still despise his Superman punch, but that's another topic. But no, his promos seemed a little bit more organic, a little bit more him. I don't know if WWE is trying to make him heel or keep him babyface. He's kind of in between. I don't know where they're going. They're not doing a great job of making him a heel, but they're doing an even worse job of making him a babyface. I don't know. I'm not really sure where they're going with him. Hopefully this all comes full circle. Maybe they don't even know where they're going. They're just trying to test the waters with how the crowds are reacting. I don't know. Daniel Bryan then comes out and then thanks him for spearing the Big Show and Seth, because Seth may have beaten him if he didn't. Says that Roman Reigns has the opportunity at Fastlane to beat him and go on to WrestleMania. The crowd's not really buying into this. I feel like Daniel Bryan's too nice, and it doesn't have the magic of last year. The magic would have happened if he won the Royal Rumble. It feels forced this year, and even the crowd doesn't seem to be behind Bryan right now. That don't get me wrong, Daniel Bryan is more over with the crowd than Roman Reigns, but it doesn't have that sparkle, that magic that it did last year. Maybe that's just my perception. We'll see. He says that he knows Roman Reigns is stronger and bigger than him, but when it comes to looks, they're about even, to which Roman Reigns went into a unnecessarily dramatic laugh. Totally unnecessary. That's all I'm going to say about that. But when it comes to wrestling, he says he's the better wrestler. Wow. I'm going to guess that line did not come from Vince McMahon. He despises the word wrestler. He uses entertainer. I give Bryan credit for using wrestler because, damn it, that's what you are. It gives legitimacy. Don't say you're a superstar. It kind of sugarcoats you, and it's not a profession to be a superstar. Being a wrestler sounds tough. It sounds legitimate, so I like that. The Authority comes out. They plug Fastlane again, free month of February. Triple H gives Sting to the end of the night to respond to Triple H's invitation to Fastlane to meet him face-to-face. Bryan's comeback was good. It said that because they were bashing him for doing what he did to Kane, saying that that's where bodies go to decay in caskets. And great line by Stephanie. She knows how to be a heel. Saying they set up the damn match, and Bryan just did what he did to win the match. So I love her work. Nonetheless, Bryan's comeback was good to Triple H, saying that considering what Triple H has done in caskets in the past, he would appreciate his match with Kane that he had on SmackDown the week before. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to tell you, but go back to the Katie Vick angle. Just type in YouTube, Katie Vick, Triple H in casket, and you will get everything you need to see during the TV14 era. That even makes me cringe. Totally unnecessary, very disturbing, really. So go check that out. So then, Steph makes Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan versus Kane and the Big Show. I thought Kane and Daniel Bryan were totally done with each other. Apparently not. And to me, the combination of Kane and Big Show are very overused, but again, exposes the lack of depth in the main roster. They have to use these guys. There's no other option. Nobody really is over as a babyface, and no one's really over as a heel, other than Seth Rollins. Everyone's kind of lukewarm where they are. You can't say Brock Lesnar is a full-fledged heel. He gets cheered. At least 50% of the crowd cheers for him. You can't say Cena's a full-fledged babyface. Half the crowd still boos him. So everyone's kind of lukewarm where they are. It's very interesting. Very interesting time. And I think it's because they're trying to appeal to too large of a demographic. Just go one way and go with it. Don't try to be everything. Because when you try to be everything, you're not appealing to anyone. Anyway, the Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan versus Kane Big Show. JBL keeps saying how dumb it was for Roman Reigns to give a spot for WrestleMania, putting it in jeopardy. Good point. Yes kicks on the Big Show. He jumps outside the ring and gets caught and then tossed into the ropes and back onto the floor. Big Show misses the elbow from the second rope. It's nice psychology to give Roman Reigns the hot tag to get the crowd behind him. If you're trying to make him a baby face, I don't know. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. Big Show then gets, surprise, disqualified for throwing Bryan into the barricade. This is interesting because I don't remember that being a disqualification. There have been many matches where they get thrown into the barricade or into the announcers there, or the ring announcers area where Lillian is, and they haven't got disqualified. So I don't know what forced this disqualification. I'm not really sure. Nonetheless, he got disqualified. Show got a chair and hit Roman Reigns, and then Roman Reigns got the chair and hits the Big Show with outside the ring. Kane goes for a chokeslam, but Bryan accidentally hits Roman Reigns with the knee to the face. Triple H says, since they're such a great team, he's going to make another match. Or, in other words, I'm going to make a carbon copy of what I just did, but add J&J Security, Seth Rollins, and give it a 5-on-2 match. This is just a bad idea. Bad idea. I know they're very, very stretched and thin for talent, but this 3-hour format exposes it even more. The 3 hours it's counterproductive to the ad revenue that they're receiving because you're having viewers having to dedicate 3 hours of television, 15 commercial breaks, matches that are now duplicate matches. It's not a good sign, and I think the 2-hour format will return at some point. Vince is very stubborn, though. It's obviously up to him. But in the end, I think the 2-hour format is perfect. Make it 8 to 10 or 9 to 11 like it used to be on Monday nights, and keep it as that. The 3 hours the format could not have been more exposed than it was this week. Then we had Ryback versus Seth Rollins. Rollins attacks him from behind. He's a great heel. He is an awesome... Seth Rollins, to me, is the MVP of 2014. I've mentioned that before. Ryback goes for the shell shock. J&J interfere. They cause the DQ, and then there's the curb stomp by Rollins. So Rollins continues to roll, which will continue all the way through WrestleMania, and I think Rollins will become champion at WrestleMania. Just a little hint of where I think things are going. It's called cashing in, my friends. There was then a video for Sheamus returning. Didn't say when, probably Fastlane, and I hope he returns as a heel. Sheamus is tailor-made to be a heel. There's no question. Sheamus is much better as a heel than a babyface, so hopefully he returns as one. So I think maybe he'll interfere in Bryan's match at Fastlane. Not sure, but it's at Fastlane. I can pretty much bank on that. There was a strange Be a Star anti-bullying video from Big Show that aired pretty much right after his segment. Are you kidding me? This is what I'm talking. I understand the corporate image since they're a publicly traded company and they have sponsors that are very concerned about the image of the companies that they're supporting. I understand that and I get that, but this is a blatant exposure and transparency of the business and not protecting the business when you have Big Show, who's a heel, bullying people around, and then completely counteracting and contrasting his on-screen character by doing an anti-bullying message to the fans. It's I cannot stress enough how stupid this is by WWE. Maybe they don't care. They all know we know it's not real, but don't tell me it's not real. I don't want to watch a movie and constantly be reminded of what I'm seeing isn't really happening. And that's exactly what it is. They are undermining themselves. Don't take me out of the moment. I'll stop there before I continue. Bear with me here. I'm rolling through my papers of notes. Then we had Rusev. He paid tribute to John Cena. Lana says that they want to recognize Cena's great career, and they show a video of Cena starting out nicely, winning the titles and smiling and holding his hand high. And then it quickly transitions to him getting destroyed over his career, being brought out on stretchers, losing the title, getting pinned. And then once the video concludes, she says that his body must be broken after so many battles. Rusev says Cena is no longer what he used to be. A lot of what chants, which this is now going on 13 years. This started in 2002, I believe, with Stone Cold, or 2001 even, when he was a heel with the Alliance. So 13, 14 years that this what chant. It's unbelievable it's lasted this long. And then he will break his body and crush his spirit at Fastlane. Cena comes out and says that Rusev forgot one thing. Every time he gets knocked down, he gets back up. And that at Fastlane, he's going to teach Rusev a lesson in respect. Rusev also mentioned him as an old man. I'm not sure where they're going with Cena being an old man. It's not a good image for him. He's 37. Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2003 was 37. You didn't see them referring to Austin as an old man. It's not a good idea. I guess they're trying to take the load off of Cena and try to transfer it to Roman Reigns or their next id guy. I get it. They're trying not to get caught like a deer in the headlights with their not being able to have their next top star to move on to. I get it. First of all, Roman Reigns isn't ready. We all know Roman Reigns isn't ready. He needs another year development, but I've gone over that, and so has everybody else. But to talk about Cena's age like he's an old man is not doing him any favors. It doesn't even make sense, really. 37 is an old man. I could see if he was... They were talking about The Undertaker, who I heard is not in good shape lately, by the way. Or one of these guys returning. Maybe even Austin at this age, if someone was to challenge him, calling him an old man. Sure, makes sense. But to have Cena, the top guy, the face of the company, being called an old man, not sure where they're going with that. Cena says that while Rusev has the jokes, Lana is the one with the balls. I don't know where Rusev was making the joke, but I guess it fit the punchline of telling Lana she had the balls in the duo. I guess it worked, whatever. Rusev then runs up the ramp and attacks Cena, pokes him in his bad eye, and slams him against the LED board. Keeps Rusev strong. I don't think his streak's going to be broken. No way at Fastlane. It may not even happen at WrestleMania. And I'll tell you, if it does not happen at WrestleMania, I don't think it's going to happen until the following WrestleMania in Dallas. Could you imagine having a 2-year undefeated streak? Rusev would be the hottest heel rolling into WrestleMania 32. If I was booking, I would keep him undefeated because WrestleMania is the obvious choice this year that you think he's going to lose. Fastlane, not a chance. It's going to end in a disqualification. WrestleMania, if it happens this year, okay. It's predictable, though. Nothing wrong with predictable sometimes. We don't always have to be surprised to like what we see. But if I were booking, keep it going. Keep the slow burn because the more you build this up, whoever finally pins him, it will give that much more big of a rub to whoever that babyface is. It's all about transferring the heat or the glory to whoever wins. So, my opinion, because I'm sure WWE is listening to this, keep him undefeated through WrestleMania 32. And then after that, Ziggler versus Bray Wyatt. The way this whole match went, it's clear he's not seen as main event level. This is the on again, off again style that WWE has had with him. He's kind of back to where he was. He's not the champion anymore. He's a good hand, but they don't see him as the face of the company. But the crowd respects the hell out of him. They like him. He's over. Apparently Vince is smarter than we are. Fine. But match after match, Ziggler proves he's got it in the ring. He needs to work a little bit on his personality, but to me, Ziggler is more ready than Roman Reigns is to take the top spot. Anyway, Cole reminds us about the cryptic messages Wyatt has been delivering the last several weeks, referencing, obviously, The Undertaker. And I mentioned quickly earlier, The Undertaker has been seen, I guess, in brutal condition. His knees are just giving out. He looks like he's 60 years old. I've seen pictures of him, too. I'm sure you guys have as well from Michelle McCool's Instagram. He does not look in great shape. I don't know what's going on. He looks very thin, kind of frail and old. Who knows? Maybe it's just kind of diversion. I don't know if it's how much credibility is put in these rumors. Nonetheless, I hope we see Taker back to give Bray Wyatt a opportunity to be in the spotlight that he has not seen yet in his career. This will top his John Cena match at WrestleMania last year, and it'll put him back in a spotlight where, from where he was with Dean Ambrose's feud, my God, I don't think any of us want to see them ever again in the same ring. This can do nothing but good for Bray Wyatt, and Undertaker is all about respect and giving back to the business, and that's how you do it. So there's lots of Let's Go Ziggler. I get a lot of tangents, don't I? Let's Go Ziggler and Wyatt chants. Ziggler was in control early, lots of drop kicks. He has an awesome drop kick. I feel the chemistry between these two. These two seem to work well. That jump DDT he does on Wyatt where he jumps up on his shoulders, gets horizontal, and then just drops back down. Love it. It's a great false finish. He hit the Famouser, and then a super kick, another great finish, or false finish that is, was a kick out. A nasty clothesline end off on the outside, that was a turning point. And then Sister Abigail, a clean victory over Ziggler. Tells me Undertaker is not far away. We are going to see signs of it at Fastlane. Because who's Bray Wyatt facing at Fastlane? Nobody. That tells you he's in line for somebody big. So that was interesting. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick 10-second break. On the other side, I'm going to talk about Brock's address, or really Paul Heyman's address, on Fastlane, and then talk about Triple H and his little interaction with the fake Sting on Raw, and then talk about the repeat closing match from Raw. So I'll be right back on the other side.
And now, back to the Matt's Madness Show.
Alrighty, guys. Brock Lesnar's address, or should I say Paul Heyman's address on Fastlane. Paul Heyman says the purpose of tonight's sermon is to address the fact of how people put credibility in non-credible information. He calls Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns liars because if either comes out and says that they can beat Brock, they are simply lying. I like that. This guy can talk. Nobody needs to script this guy. Paul Heyman's the best talker. I'm not going to say ever, but if he were a talent, if he were a wrestler, this guy would be headlining WrestleMania. Obviously not in his physical condition, but you take his mind and his verbal skills and place him in a guy that has the look, that's money. But anyway, calls them liars and basically says that they can't beat Brock. Duh. And it's all going to depend on Brock if he's staying or going. Signs have originally pointed to him leaving, going back to UFC, and then they are kind of trending back to WWE. Brock has an awesome schedule. He's getting paid millions, doesn't work house shows, goes to the Raw once a month, works the pay-per-view every other month, and he's getting paid millions, and is the champion. He's got the schedule made, but if he has unfinished business, he's going to go back to UFC. Brock can do whatever the hell he wants. But this guy has a presence. Brock Lesnar is the man. He feels legitimate. He's the guy that makes you suspend your belief. He's the guy who goes, you know what, maybe this guy's for real. Maybe he actually might hurt him. He's the one guy that you don't think is playing a character because you know what, he's not. And those are the best kinds of wrestlers that you can have on your roster. To me, signs are pointing to another triple threat match at WrestleMania. Because, to be honest, do you really think, even if they went through with their plan, that Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns could have had a spectacular main event match? I don't think so. Roman Reigns is too green, and Brock doesn't really lead a match. He's not a ring general. He can go, but as far as leading a match and calling a match, I don't think Brock is suited to do that. So, to me, psychologically, these two just wouldn't have a good match anyway. It would be a lot of power moves, a lot of kickouts of finishers. And I don't believe they could have a main event caliber match. I mean, think about Rock and Austin, for God's sakes. Anyway, so Sting, Triple H comes out and says he's done waiting on Sting, that Sting tried to take away when he's worked 20 years for. Sting attacked him at Survivor Series like a coward and says that at Fastlane he's going to call out Sting, and if he agrees to never show his face again, he'll let Sting leave with his dignity intact. Come on, let's be serious. We all know that's not going to happen. So Sting's music hits. The crows sound, a video message saying, Triple H, I accept, pops up on the screen, and then a quick shot of, quote, Sting in the ring, which, upon further review, is not Sting, it's some kind of double. Triple H takes a very dramatic back bump like he's scared. Segment worked for me. It progressed the storyline a little further, which we obviously know is going to be Sting and Triple H at WrestleMania, so I'm okay with it. One of the, quote, brighter spots on the show. I mean, a Curtis Axel and Dean Ambrose, another what kind of match? It says WrestleMania, Curtis Axel said that WrestleMania is his spot. He never lost a Royal Rumble match. Very true, and also hilarious. I hope he keeps this on going. This, to me, should be a great way to remind the fans every single time he's on the mic that he never lost the Royal Rumble. Good, I like it. Keep it going, Curtis. It's an average match. JBL says Curtis is the longest participant in the Royal Rumble. He's been in it for about 3 weeks now. That was actually kind of hilarious. Dirty Deeds, Dean Ambrose wins. And then he calls out Bad News Barrett, says he won't stop until he gets a shot at the title, the Intercontinental title, that is. Bad News Barrett comes on with BNZ, Bad News, it's kind of a TMZ ripoff. Says that just because he wants one doesn't mean deserves a wrestling match. It's kind of, or it doesn't deserve a title shot. It's kind of reminiscent, I said, of Randy Orton when he was doing those news updates of his elbow, when he would give you percentages of his elbow being fully back to normal. He would give you update, say, I'm happy to report that my shoulder is 67% healed, and it's a very heel thing to do. So I'm okay with it. I like Bad News Barrett. Then there was that 5-on-2 match. Crowd was kind of dead at this point. The announcer seemed exhausted. I'm sure the crowd was exhausted, and there was almost no reaction for the participants that they already saw throughout the match. This is pretty much a duplicate. There were a lot of Germans to Bryan from Rollins early. Noble comes in and shuffles around. Great heel stuff. Jamie Noble is awesome at being a heel. Love it. Mercury tags in, mocks Bryan, and then tags Kane. Chokeslam on Bryan. Reigns breaks it up. Then there was a knockout blow on Roman Reigns by Big Show. Ryback, Rowan, and Ziggler come out to stop them from putting Bryan away. J&J got double drop kicked by Bryan and then yes kicked. Reigns tags himself in and then spears Mercury as Bryan was setting him up for the knee to the face. Was this a heel move? I don't know. And then they argued after the match in which Roman Reigns speared Daniel Bryan. Again, is this him turning a heel? I don't know. But again, this main event was a rerun of the opener, kind of anticlimactic, and felt like it was a setup for some kind of return. And I have one question. where the hell is Randy Orton? I've been predicting him to come back since TLC back in December. He's at house shows. There's been so many opportunities for him to come back. He's going to be a big babyface when he's come back. It's going to be very welcome. Clearly going to feud with Rollins. I think we're going to see that at Fastlane and then roll into WrestleMania with these two, in which I think Rollins will lose the match to Orton at WrestleMania, but then cash in on the whoever wins the WWE Heavyweight Championship match with Roman Reigns or Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar. And Roman, you're going to see Seth Rollins walk out of WrestleMania 31 as champion. You can mark that down. And it's also haven't been a great week for Seth Rollins with the nude photos being leaked. Whatever. I'm not going to get into that. If you want to see him, go Google him. And I said, we're probably going to have a three-way. Reigns simply just can't carry a match, so it can't be one-on-one. And we'll have to see. But it was kind of a down Raw, as I mentioned. Kind of a Raw that is forgettable. Didn't really progress a lot of things other than is Roman Reigns turning heel and progress the storyline with Triple H and Sting. Didn't do a whole lot. And with Fastlane over 2 weeks away, less than that now, a week and a half, I hope they kind of ramp things up because to me, Fastlane is the advertisement for the free subscribers that sign up to basically stick with us through WrestleMania. So to me, this is like I don't want to say it's going to be a glorified Raw, but there's not going to be any conclusion or blow off at Fastlane. It's just going to continue to stir the pot and turn up the heat at Fastlane, and that's what it should do. The blow off should be at WrestleMania. So with that said, thank you for listening, guys. Again, questions at mattsmadness.com. Matts_madness on Twitter is the way you can get in contact with me. Go follow me. I'll follow you back. Send me feedback any way you like on mattsmadness.com. I'm also on YouTube. I'm on Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, and everywhere, pretty much any media platform. Working on getting on SoundCloud as well. So whether you have Android, iOS, I'm there. So with that being said, thank you guys for listening, and I will catch you guys next time.